Hi guys, I hope that you are all safe and well. Sunday blessings to you, my lovelies. So I'm just coming on to do the tarot and oracle review videos for you all. So today I'm going to be working with an oracle deck that I'm going to be showcasing for you. And this is the Vintage Wisdom Oracle by Victoria Moseley. So this is an absolutely beautiful oracle deck. And you can sort of see this here, and it's all kind of gilded on the edge. It's got all this sort of silver embossed lay. This is an absolutely beautiful deck. It's created, or it's published I should say, by US Game Systems. So their logo is down the bottom there. So we've seen a few of their decks. They tend to be the little tuck boxes. It's quite rare we have a hardback, but it's lovely to be able to showcase the hardback to you. Now, lovely illustrations on the back. It gives beautiful examples of the deck itself. I'll just read what it says here. So it just says the Vintage Wisdom Oracle deck presents 52 lavishly illustrated cards infused with beauty and inspiration of goddesses, divas and erotic muses. Rich in symbolic detail, these exquisite montages combine artfully blended images of French sepia photographs, wild flowers, nature totems and delicate vintage lace. This luxurious set includes an 80-page guidebook filled with evocative insights and timeless feminine wisdom, as well as 5 custom card spreads. So it's an absolutely gorgeous deck. Now, Victoria is actually passed. She was actually an amazing artist based in Bath. She lived in Bath for many years, over 20 years. And the reason I kind of came across this deck, I used to do readings in Lady of the Silver Wheel in Glastonbury, and as well as this deck, Wren, who used to own the place, she had various prints, gift cards, and they were all kind of Victoria's artwork. So that's how I first was introduced to this deck, and this is where I purchased it from in Glastonbury, from that shop. So it's really sad to hear of the passing of Victoria, bless her, but amazing artist, and her legacy will absolutely live on, So let's open up this deck, let's open up this bad boy, let's see what we've got in store. Oops. Okay, so as we kind of go into the cards themselves, they are really good big oracle size. They are quite chunky. Now, the reason I thought I'd showcase this deck to you this week, I used this deck on one of my, for those of you that follow me on Facebook, I used this deck recently in my Facebook group, and I've used it many times in there actually, but it happened to sort of cause intrigue and interest. So I thought, what better deck to sort of showcase for you guys today. So as you can see on the back here, beautiful stunning detail. Now, a lot of you know my love for Cher, and some people have said that they feel this to look a little bit like a young version of Cher. I can sort of see it, I'll be honest. That's not why I love this deck, but yeah, I can see the sort of the Cher inspiration there, if you like. So what's great with this deck, loads of intuitive energy you can work with. There's so much visual stuff to pick out within these cards. So each card has a beautiful vision, a beautiful image, and then they have a word. So like this one, choice. And you can see that she's holding this crystal ball. We've got this beautiful white dove. We've got these stairs leading up and round. There's just so much you can take from these kind of cards, so I really, really love them. And like I say, they encompass the energy of the sort of the Victorian kind of era, and also all of this kind of, it's almost like this pin-up burlesque, come vintage, like you say, sort of style. I just think that they're fabulous. I really, really love this this deck. It's a very glamorous deck, but it's a very powerful deck. It's probably one of my most powerful decks that I've got, and each card is extremely different. So each card is, it's almost like its own little mini story to tell, really. So really, really powerful stuff. These, lots of birds throughout this deck, you'll find. This is one of my favourite cards, the card of love. I just think that this is really, I love the way it's captured all these different colours in the background. Really, really clever. But as you can see, so this is very different to anything I think I've shown you before. So if you have a love for like the sort of weird, the quirky, the unusual, and if you have a love for vintage particularly, then this is going to be a deck that you absolutely resonate with. You're absolutely going to love it, It's a very glamorous deck, this one. But to me, I just think it's really fabulous. I love the colours. I just love everything that's captured. You know, there's a lot of energy gone into these. I should mention the stock quality. Stock quality is reasonable, you know, a decent, not too thick, not too thin, definitely like a medium. So a good stock quality. Now, I might not show you all of these, but I certainly want to show you enough of these cards, just so you can sort of see. But like I say, there's so much, you know, all of those colours coming in there. Beautiful, beautiful. This is one of my favourites, centering. I really like this. I think it's just because it's got all this background energy, but yeah, I just love this. There's a few cards that really, really make me smile, like this one. It's that sort of hear no evil, see no evil, say no evil, or whatever the phrase is. I love this sort of energy. Beautiful. So even though they're sort of vintage, again, there's a mystical feel to these as well. There's a magical sort of, it's like a forest fairy kind of feel to some of them as well, which I really love. I just think it's a very, very unusual deck to anything else I've shown, and that's kind of what makes it special, really. So this is obviously the image they've used for the front, and this is the card of dreams. Beautiful. So again, with this sort of mermaid, they encompass fantasy as well as the mystical stuff, and then the more traditional aspects as well. So there's loads going on here. Like I say, loads of feathered things, loads of butterflies, loads of birds, loads of wings. Just lots of magic in this. This is another favourite of mine, the card of release. I really like this. There's almost like a pagan sort of look to this one. I really like that. So it's, even though it's not a witchy deck, there's still elements of witchy magic I find with this as well. I still find it's quite a witchy deck, even though it's not actually witchy. This next card is probably my absolute favourite in this deck, the Harmony card. I just love that. Just when I see it, it makes me smile. It's a really, really beautiful card, that one. Okay, so like I say, I want to show you enough of these, but I don't really want to show you all of them because I want to keep a few back just in case you decide to treat this deck, if you decide to treat yourself to this deck, I should say. I love the colours in this one as well. This is another favourite of mine. And just the way that all of that kind of architecture is in the background. There's a lot of detail in these cards, you know. Okay, I'm going to show you like maybe one or two more, and then I think I'm going to call it there. Like I say, just so you have a few in case you decide to purchase this deck yourself. Okay, one more after this because that's a nice card to end on, the one I just pulled after this. And then definitely, that's all of them. So, amazing cards, as you can see. Now the book, a lovely little book you get with this. Again, the beautiful matte finish on this. No pictures in this deck, in this book, which is fine. You know, there's an introduction, which is lovely. And then at the back of this book, you've got different spread examples I've just seen. So it talks about using the cards, and then it's got the different sort of spread options that you can have. I'm just seeing if it says anything about the artist herself. If it does, it's probably at the front. Nope, nothing really about the artist. That's a little bit of a shame. This deck was created in 2014, so it's been out for a time. But yeah, but each of the cards, so like I say, you don't actually have any sort of pictures or anything. It's just straight into the meanings, and then you know there's quite a lot of bump for each card. So we'll have to sort of go through and look at those. Quite different to not have the pictures, so it's more of a traditional book, but I think that's fine. It's as it is, you know. So we'll sort of work with these and see what we get. So as ever, I'm going to channel the cards for the highest of good for this Sunday. Things we need to know about, things we need to be aware of, and this will also be a message that will follow through for the coming week ahead. So let's see what they want to say, because these are big. I don't mind big cards, but some people say that they don't like to have cards too big, so you might find that these are a struggle, because these are definitely a traditional big oracle deck, you know. It doesn't bother me particularly, but I know quite a lot of people find that size a bit too big, a bit too bulky. Okay, so we've got Sanctuary coming in here. Oh, this is really interesting. Beautiful card there, as you can see that. Okay, so let me find this in the book then, guys. So Sanctuary, bear with me. Oh, right. So we've got a one-pager for this one. So let's read this out and see. Apologies if my dyslexia trips me up en route, guys. I'll hopefully it won't, but you never know. A vintage goddess sits peacefully in quiet reflection beneath the arches of her sacred temple. Subtle shades of green represent the harmony found in forests and fields. A lone peacock stands atop a stone pillar. These sumptuous birds of protection and watchfulness are said to be symbols of the heavens and eyes of the stars, as depicted on their cascading tail feathers. Earlier belief held that a pair of peacocks guarded the gates of paradise. Our goddess muse wears a dress made from similar plumage. A beautiful jay flies into the forest ground, its loyal and protective nature a fitting presence. For some, the first experience of communication, celebration and sanctuary begins in the safety and security of the family home. But as we grow, our perception of sanctuary evolves according to how we relate to the world and its quickening pace. In contrast to seeking escape, the renewing balm of sanctuary helps us find substance and rejuvenation from within, while allowing us to simply be in the present moment. Your personal idea of sanctuary may manifest in the form of a special place, your spiritual beliefs of the inner refuge of prayer and meditation. Whatever your preference, the appearance of this card speaks to its relevance for your life at this moment. Cultivate a little distance from an issue by nourishing your spiritual resources in the safety of your private oasis. Viewing life from a renewed sense of perspective will help you arrive at a more attuned choice for the future. Interesting. So I see this a little bit as almost needing to sort of pull back. I didn't even see the peacock actually at first. It's one of these cards, the more you look at it, there's your peacock in the background. Didn't even notice that at first glance. So it is one of these cards, the more you look at, the more you sort of see. And also, again, the peacock feathers in the tapestry that she's actually wearing. But yeah, definitely what I feel with this, is retreating back a little bit. It's making sure sacred space is met and it works for you, isn't it? So keeping everything on your terms and then slowly being able to adjust to this new world. So I hope that message helps for some of you guys for this Sunday and for the coming week ahead. This artwork is gorgeous, I have to say. The artwork is a clear 10. The deck, I think, is a clear 10. There's nothing bad about it, really, that I can talk about. It's a very respectful deck. It's a deck that I feel is in a class and a league of its own. But I love the fact that they've made an effort with the box, with all of this silver sort of foiling and gilding. I just love it. It's a very unusual deck for me to actually want to own compared to anything else I have, because I normally prefer my witchy decks and my more gothic decks. But this has a ring of that gothic energy as well as that vintage magic, So if you like something a bit quirky, a bit unusual, this is definitely a deck to check out. It's definitely one worth in the collection. So I'm going to leave that with you. I hope it resonates. It's an easy 10 deck for me. Really, really beautiful, really lovely. Not a deck that I work with all the time, but it's a lovely one to dip in and out of. So if it resonates, if you like it, do go and check it out. It's the Vintage Wisdom Oracle by Victoria Moseley. Fabulous deck. So I'm going to leave that with you. Stay safe and well. Have a fabulous Sunday, a magical week ahead. Catch you guys soon. Much love. Bye for now.